Saving money might not be the most exciting topic, but it's crucial for financial stability. Unfortunately, many Americans struggle with it. According to Bankrate's 2023 Emergency Savings Report, nearly half of all US adults either have less savings or no savings compared to a year ago. If you're on that boat too, don't stress. Let's talk about how to fix it. Also, if you haven't watched my video yet on budgeting, I highly recommend you check that out first, as I'll be revisiting some themes that I talked about in it. With that being said, I'm Chris Jr., and welcome to Clearview Finance. In my previous video, I talked about something called the 20-50-30 rule. And if you recall, not only does it help you maintain your budget, it also plays a crucial role in helping you to passively save towards your goals. But in case you forget, let me give you a quick refresher. So we're taking 20% of our after-tax paycheck and we're putting it towards our savings. Then we're taking 50% and putting it towards our needs. And then finally, 30% of that after-tax paycheck goes towards your wants. So by using the rule, we want you to kind of get into that groove of making that budget work for you and work for you towards your financial goals. But do you know what your financial goals are? So think about any life goal that you've ever set for yourself. What does it require? It requires you to aim high, outline what you need, how you need to get it done, how you'll track your progress, and when you need or want to achieve it. When it comes to setting financial goals, there isn't a huge conceptual difference. This is why we harp on budgeting so much, because once you learn your budget and you know how to maintain it, it basically does all that work that we just talked about above for you, or at least it helps make it a little bit easier. Now, there's a lot of different financial goals you can set for yourself, which might make it kind of hard to figure out which are a priority and which aren't. That's why whenever you're setting these financial goals, time becomes a pretty important factor. And what I mean by this is that you're gonna want to figure out which are short-term goals and which are long-term goals. Some may disagree with me here, but I personally believe that figuring out what you want to save toward in the long term is a little bit easier than what you want to save toward in the short. The reason why I say this is because most long-term financial goals that we set are already kind of laid out for us by society. Take retirement, for instance. Everyone wants to retire as soon and as comfortably as possible. If you're a young person, retirement couldn't feel further away. So it's easy to see why it gets neglected by so many young people, but it doesn't negate its importance. I feel that's an easy one to passively save toward, and the sooner you start, the better off you'll be. Now, in contrast, short-term goals, by definition, are much more immediate needs or wants. In the past, I talked about using the roll to passively pay off your credit card debt in order to then use the roll again to save toward a new car. I think those are two pretty solid examples of what you might be needing in the short term. But everyone has different desires, so take some time to reflect on maybe what's going to be important to you tomorrow, along with what's going to be important to you in the future. Your future self will thank you, trust me. So we've addressed how to set financial goals and we touched on some examples, but how do we shift into that money saving mindset to see these goals through? Luckily, following the 20-50-30 rule already does that for us. You see, the original iteration of the rule is actually the 50-30-20 rule, where 50% of that after-tax paycheck is going towards our needs, then 30% are going towards our wants, and then 20% toward our savings. Now let's focus on that 20% part. Notice how in our version of the rule, we actually flip that 20% from the back to the front. That's because we want everyone who follows it to basically get into that habit of paying themselves first before they do anything else with that paycheck. So there are ways to actually make that easy. And a lot of people have different preferences, but the one I like is actually going through your bank and automating it so that at least a percentage of that paycheck is automatically deducted and going straight into your savings account before you even see it. This way, it's out of sight, out of mind. Now, let's apply. Say you have a 401k retirement savings plan through your employer. You could actually go to your bank, or maybe on your bank app, or however you feel like reaching out to them, and you could actually link your bank account to your plan. Then you could set your desired percentage that you'd like to take out and put towards your plan with no manual effort necessary. So that covers the long term, but what about the short term? What if you're trying to save toward that new car, right? You would basically go to your bank and you would actually open up a separate savings account designated for that car, where you're, again, passively contributing a percentage of your paycheck to that savings goal. When committing to be a better saver, you must stay motivated. Whenever you set life goals, one of the tips someone may have given you, or you may have heard about this already, or already even done it, is to have some type of visual or symbol of the goal that you're working towards. I think that this is a great tip to apply to setting financial goals. For example, my dream vacation trip is a trip to Italy, right? So maybe I would print out pictures of the places I'd want to visit, and I could maybe have them in my office, have them in my room. I could even have a picture of the place I want to visit most set as my lock screen on my phone. Really, it's just anything that could help you keep your eyes on the prize. Lastly, don't forget to celebrate your savings milestones. We rarely ever give ourselves as much credit as we actually deserve. Progress is progress, no matter how small. And remember, you don't have to go through all of this alone. If you need help setting financial goals and staying on track, that's exactly what financial professionals are here for. If you found this video helpful, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'm Chris Jr., and I'll see you next time for more Clearview Finance.